The steering thing, we managed to get the bearing out. Yes, we'll have to compress the steel around it afterwards, but we're hoping we can push this bearing out. And it looks like we can. Okie dokey then. Can I set you up in such a way so you can see what I'm doing? There you go. Hopefully that works. Well, this bearing doesn't want to come out of here. So, we'll do the old blowtorch heating thing. Don't want to get it too hot because I don't want to mount the rubber seals. Hoping to get another bearing, but just in case, I'll try and save the one we have. Wow, that's tight. Oh, that's a bit warm. Okay, no, it's not super warm. This way, and we'll see what happens. This metal plate that I'm using, you know, it's weird, this plate here. I found it, I can't remember where I found it now, and I think it was on the tip. I don't know what it's off, but it's so handy for pressing, it's shocking. It just doesn't want to come out. You know, it's... Not even showing signs of actually moving either, if you can see. I would presume it has to come over the front. Okay, let's rethink steering. Steering turned out to be a bit of a disaster. Here's what's left of the bearing. That's about it, really. Because you can't just push them off without cutting the shaft, as we found out. So as I said, this bit here is welded onto that bit there. Yeah, welded onto that there. And then, which is all in turn welded onto that there as well, or pressed onto there. No, it must be welded onto there. And then your bearing, which is what's left of it, sits in here. So basically what happens is this gets pushed up there, which holds the bearing in place, and this goes up, that's still quite hot, gets pushed up into there, so it clamps the bearing in place. So I was trying to break weld, basically. So what my plan is now is to order a new one of these, because I've got the part number of it. If I can get this to focus. Well, I can't get it to focus, but it is a part number on there. Which way? Anyway, so with my fancy measuring gizmo, this here, it's not perfect by all means, but it's ideal for what I need. So the insert shaft diameter is 16.95. The inner shaft diameter, which I'm not going to get a good accurate of because the shaft's tapered, is 34.74. And if I measure the outer diameter of the broken piece that I had, this piece, which I can't find the actual thing, 33.62, so not too bad. So the plan is now, we've got this part, is get a new bearing, weld this shaft back onto here as best we can, because that nicely presses onto that, so it'd be nice to keep that to press up to the thing. We'll grind this shaft down a smidgen, grind this down a smidgen, so that when this sits in here, we end up with a gap like that, like a small gap. So when we weld this shaft to that, we'll theoretically be welding the 3 bits together. That's the plan. Then we'll cut this shaft in the middle and grind it to a point, and then weld that up like that. Or if we find a piece of pipe that can neatly go over that, we'll do it that way. The other thing I could do is I could grind a bevel on it and drill a center hole in either side and put like a 4-inch nail or something in the center, so that you know you get the center. But I don't think it needs to be 100% center. And on this bit, we'll cut the weld on here, in there, knock this pipe out, I'm thinking, and then see if we can get this to be another pipe like this. But if we can't get another pipe like this before we cut that weld, we're going to see if we can get a pipe to go on the outside of this, which is 38.27, which probably should be in inches really. 1.5 inch. So yeah. So that sorts that problem out. So let me give you a demonstration of what I'm trying to do. We're going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work, but this is the plan. So we have a steering system, a normal steering box, which has a shaft going down, has your box, and then on the opposite side, would have an arm. On a static steering one, basically you have this, and then you have a little thing like this, and then you have your box, and your orbital unit sits in there. Then you have your hoses, and then your hoses go to your engine. So what we're going to try and do is, obviously the one we've got has got a small thing. So first of all, we're going to get a square plate, cut that, drill the holes in it we need to mount the thing, which will match the bottom of one of the original steering boxes. I think they've also got a dowel in it, so if we have to, we'll drill a little hole in and put a dowel in just to center it, but I don't think that's really that important. Then we'll mark out where we're going to put our actual brackets. We will mock up one of the old steering boxes so it's on a flat plate, so that I can measure from, like, so if we mack it up, because they've got a piece sticking out the bottom of them for the gearing, if we drill a hole in that, put it onto, say, like a piece of wood. I know it's not 100% accurate, so it's flat, and then you have your steering box up here and then whatnot, and then you've got your shaft up there. We'll be able to measure from this wooden plate that it bolts to, up certain distances, and up certain distances. And if I bolt this to a wooden plate as well, I should be able to copy all this distance, so this length, this distance and thing, and then I could make two things for it. So basically we'll have this as a wooden plate, and then you'll be able to this will be the actual plate that will bolt to the wooden plate, and then you can measure off this to the top of this, straight down with a string line, whatever, measure the distance here. You'd have a nice solid platform to work off on both, so you'll be able to copy. That's my plan. So we're going to get a metal plate. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a metal plate like this. We're then going to end up with a bracket up, sort of curved probably. I'm not sure how it might go. We'll see. And then down like this. This will be on an angle to suit the angle of steering. Then the orbital unit will go into here with your pipes coming out. Well, this is all actually angled the other way. I'm working this wrong because these pipes theoretically should be on the other side for the angle I've done this on, but it gives you an idea. So this shaft here is too short, so we'll have to lengthen that. So in here we'll have to add a piece and lengthen that. That small piece I'll take up to a machine shop and see if they can clean the threads up on it for me. And then we will basically weld on the tank brackets and your brackets onto the shaft for your dash and all that on there. Sounds simple. I'm thinking of a 1/4 inch plate for the bottom because it's pretty substantially bolts in, so a 1/4 inch thick. Drill all the holes in, and then for the side I'm thinking of probably, I don't know, 2 mil sort of sheet metal cut into place, and then with everything that's on it should be substantial. So that's the plan. So this is a shaft in here, the geared thing of some sort. This has got to be extended to wherever it needs to be to match steering box, which I'll bring one in. This I may have to alter depending on the bearing. I've managed to get a bearing from Full Bearings, a company called Full Bearings in the UK. This is all going to be extended to fit to the height of the other one, and we got to take this apart, and we're going to hopefully use this angle bit here, because this bolt hole pattern is exactly right for that, so it saves us a bit of work, and it also means that we've already got an angle and it's nice and solid, so we'll hopefully use that. Better not damage these. So yeah, my oil lines for the tractor. I don't know if you were aware of the oil lines for the tractor, but they had holes in them, so I ordered I'm saying that I might have to give that one another look at. So say that's probably a few more in there, but I brazed that bit there, and I did do it a little bit on that side as well. Just playing around really. I'll clean it up, but we're using these soft low heat aluminium rods. You just use a normal blowtorch. So yeah, so it's going to be a while till we get back onto this project because I'm away driving trucks again. But as soon as we do, we will start assembling all this. I will take this shaft up to the machine shop once we get the bearing, just in case we need to alter the size of the centre shaft. So I can get the outer diameter one right, but I think the inner diameter might be slightly different. On the engine, we've got just about it all sort of ready to go, except injector pipes. We've got to make a little bracket for the little thing down there. We've got the alternator to put on, and the oil cooler, which is here. Now, I don't suppose anyone knows what type of thread that is. If it's a common thread or not. It is in size. Now I'll measure this in inches because most things in inches. So 0. It is in diameter that, but I don't know if that's how you measure them or not. We've got to once we know what size it is, I think this is 5/8 for that threaded piece down there, which is the fittings on the back of this pump. Once we work that out, and then I've also got to work out the fitting for this piece here, which is different again. We'll be all sorted. Once we got that sorted, we then have just got to sort out this steering system, then get hoses made up for it. Yeah, and then we can bolt all the power steering system onto the truck, onto the engine. For now, I'm just going to bolt the plate on the engine because we're going to test this, and once we get some injector pipes. Anyone know what the part number is for these style injector pipes? All the ones we've been sent turned out not to be too successful, so if you know, would be awesome. So we're going to start focusing on the steering system, is the plan. So stay tuned for that. Probably the next project before we get back to this will be sorting out the digger track. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. Once we get the canter fixed, this engine's then going out to my uncle's place, we'll get all put together, finally painted up, and then it's going out to my uncle's place, and he's going to help me bench test it because he's kind of keen to see it going as well. And I said, well, it's got to go out to the farm anyway, so why not take it out there and test it all together. So that's what we're going to do. Fill her up with oil, and I'm going to make a little bracket for obviously this pipe to sit in. Now it's sort of stretched itself down, little bracket in there, just a plate with a hole in it just to hold that down there. And I've got to clean the threads up on this. I've got to clean a bit of paint out of there where I accidentally got a bit of paint in there. And then fill her up with oil, basically. And she should be ready to rumble. So time will tell. But yeah, so if you want to see more, don't forget to comment and rate and subscribe and hit the little notification bell. And this is not the only engine we're going to be doing. We've got another 2 to do after this, guaranteed. Possibility of another 3. So we'll go into more detail on them. This one, I'm trying to get the county going, the 774 going, ready for next season. So hopefully we can get it all done in time, but we'll see how time goes. So at the moment, we've got to see if we can get it to steer. I've got to bring the hydraulic ram in, the steering ram in as well, and get a kit for that and redo all that up. So there'll be something else we've got to bring in. So it'll be good fun. So don't forget to give us a thumbs up and stay tuned.